Hi everybody, I'm Betty and welcome back. And this is the energy update for October. Hope you're all doing well, and I just want to say thank you for liking and subscribing to my new channel. I really appreciate it, and thank you for sharing. I'm sure you've all been feeling the physical effects from the equinox in September. It was very potent and very emotional. So if you found yourself weeping and crying, just know that that was part of the energies flowing through us. And as always, it passes. You may have also experienced periods of nauseousness, feeling very shaky, panic attacks. I had several people tell me that they experienced panic attacks which they had never had before, along with the heart palpitations. You may also have noticed internally vibrating, and that could be from anywhere from 2 days to a couple of hours to a couple of minutes. It varies with each person. And then you would also find yourself with what I call no mind. That's basically where there's nothing upstairs. You just sit on the couch and go, what was I doing and where am I supposed to be and how come I can't think? And that's just our mind rebooting. And it takes a bit, almost like a computer, to come back online again. So be gentle with yourself when you have these experiences, and know that they will pass. And usually you have the release and then the feelings of peace afterwards once they've dissipated. You may have also noticed that our sun has become brighter again and shifted. This is because of the photonic energy that's flowing through, the waves that are flowing through, and that it's shifting and changing the sun. So if you find it more difficult, to drive with that sun, and you're not imagining things. It has shifted once again. We are also in the midst of our Mercury Retrograde, which I can tell you this is the third time I've tried to make this video. My computer froze and then decided to have an hour update. So I kept trying, and so today's third time the charm, I hope. So we'll see if we can get through it. But as always, as you've heard me talk about before, with the Mercury retrograde, watch for patterns that are coming up, that are repeating, and pay attention to those, and see if you can get to the root of it and resolve it. It's giving you an opportunity each time the Mercury retrograde comes to take a look at something specific that keeps coming up. So just do the best you can and try to look at it and resolve it. We also have 2 eclipses coming up, one in November and one in December, and then we also have the winter solstice in December. This is another grand passageway that we're going through where we receive more light codes and higher frequencies. So once again, time will be speeding up. So if you thought the last couple of years went fast, yeah, hold on, because here we go again. And this is just how it's working as we go up the spiral, the ladder, so to speak. It turns faster and faster. So it's important to keep up with the activations and upgrades during these times. I will be hosting an online light language activation where we can level up again with new upgrades, codes, and material. And I will be posting that information shortly. You can also find the written light language codes and the energy dates for the month of October posted on Facebook and Instagram. So you can take a look at those too. This month, the divine guided me to speak about imprints and what they are and how they affect us. and also the tragedies or traumas that stimulate those imprints. Imprinting is part of Earth life and being human. We carry in our DNA what we call cellular memory imprints, which are passed down in various ways. It can be from lifetime to lifetime, previous past lives, from our ancestors. We receive these imprints, and also through global events. So all of these can imprint into your body, into your cells, and get carried forward. So when you experience a trauma or tragedy, it leaves that imprint either in the individual, a group of people, and also the places that it occurs. So these imprints will be continued to be carried forward until they can be resolved and made whole. It also accumulates from lifetime to lifetime. So say if you had an experience, let's go back in time, a couple thousand years, where you were beheaded, you can bring that forward from lifetime to lifetime. And then in this lifetime, you may feeling like you have a problem speaking, that you have throat problems, but you don't have any physical problems, or even the back of your neck, you can have pain and, a deformity back there. And again, for no reason, it's just that has been embedded and brought forward. So it's almost like a wound that if it becomes infected or deeply scarred, it causes distortions. So you want to be able to lift these imprinted distortions off to help you move forward in your life, because it can affect everything. When you experience a trauma, there are phases that you go through, that you transition through. Initially, you may feel panic, shock, fear that turns into anger, denial, and asking why, followed by pain, loss, depression, and guilt. And these distortions can affect your physical, your mental, your emotional, and your spiritual. They're giving me the example now, too, of when you get a massage. So, your body may, really, really need to release the toxins. So when you're being worked on, it doesn't necessarily feel good, right? And you may actually feel painful as those toxins are releasing, days afterwards. But then you feel this peace and this relaxation. And that's kind of similar to any distortions that you're holding on to. It's like until they're released, you can't really feel that relaxation and peace about it. So it is important. And as with anything that we experience, it's about the wisdom of the lesson. What do you take away from it? But how do you take away that lesson without attaching to or creating distortions from that experience? Oftentimes, we get very, very comfortable with our lives. So when challenges surface, we can be left unprepared. So if you haven't had practice in learning how to transmute these distortions, it can actually then be imprinted with the tragedy and the trauma, and then that continues to recycle. And you don't want it to keep recycling. You want to be able to use those skills to transmute it as soon as possible. It also keeps us in a lower vibration, which then attracts similar situations. So oftentimes we keep reinforcing and creating what is called overlays making those same imprints stronger and stronger over time. So from lifetime to lifetime, you can keep reinforcing that, which is, you know, not fun. And a lot of times, because it's happened in a past life, you know, or a different timeline, you have no idea in this current life, you know, why is this happening? Why does this keep occurring? So what I found out when it comes to the physical properties, when working, I have found imprints from all timelines, from the ancient to Civil War to current. Some of the tragedies can be imprinted from accidents, killings, suicides, and man-made destructions. So they too will hold negative vibrations into the ground and affect those nearby until it is cleared. So whether it is a property, a home, a business, that will be held on to. The same can be said of objects. Okay, so beware of what is given to you, and be aware of what you're picking up at antique stores or garage sales, because I can tell you many stories what people have brought into their house and the disruption that it has caused, and obviously not realizing, you know, what had happened. So be careful with that. When it comes to removal or imprints embedded in objects or properties, my suggestion is leave it to the professionals, because I've witnessed way too many homeowners with the best intentions make matters so much worse, because they don't understand what they're doing and what's going on. Things can be much deeper than they appear. It would be like me trying to work on my plumbing. I'd have geysers erupting all over the house because I have no idea what I'm doing. So I call in a professional. So the same goes with anything that is, you know, out of the ordinary in your house or property. So with the cellular memory imprints, you must go to the root of the cause and extract it. That is one way. The other way is, if you understand and have the light skills, you will go in and you will know how to transmute it and make it into wholeness. But by removing with either manner these imprints, you're speeding up the healing process. So you're able to move things quicker or resolve something that has been from lifetime to lifetime, which is very important at this point in our evolution, because as things speed up, where it becomes more intense, so those feelings will get heightened and actually make you feel worse if not taken care of. It's also being able to see the truth of the situation that occurred and bring it into that state of neutrality where it's neither good or bad, it's just neutral. And being able to view the trauma with understanding of why that occurred, and also without judgment, holding no judgment to what had occurred. It also allows you to integrate and absorb that pain into the light, which then brings the tragedy or the trauma into wholeness, which then wholeness negates suffering. So you don't need to continue to suffer. Again, they want me to repeat it. Wholeness negates suffering. So as you bring that into the neutrality, into wholeness, the suffering transmutes and is dissipated. This is not about denying your emotions. It's about the wisdom to know what to do with them. If you have the light skills, it's about putting them into practice. It's not about just being aware, it's being able to apply these light skills in your daily life every day. So the more that you practice and the more that you apply the light skills, when tragedy or trauma does surface, you're able to transmute them. And sometimes what used to take you years can then take you days. Or what used to take you days can take you minutes, if you know how to use the light skills and apply them. And with any skill, it takes time, guidance, and practice. And the more you practice, like anything else, the better you get. It's like if you wanted to be a musician, but you never pick up the instrument. You can want to be a musician, but if you never actually pick it up and use the instrument, it never happens. So it's very important, again, at this time, to be focused on being present, staying in wholeness, and being able to transmute anything that comes up. And if you find yourself struggling and you do not have the light skills to apply, please ask for help, because there's plenty of help out there. I use the light language along with other techniques to remove the imprints along with other things, so people are able to move forward and be free and bring that into the wholeness, so they no longer have to suffer with what has been attached to them for years and years. So the divine has guided me this month to do the light language for transmuting trauma, and then also bringing in codes of joy to refill the trauma that has been removed. You can come back to this light language at any time you choose, and just know that each time you come back to it, you're receiving different information. So I will end with that. Also with there's also the written codes you can also look at on Facebook and Instagram. That's it. So we'll wrap it up for this month. Hope you have a very happy and blessed October. And I will now go into the light language. Naya hushtach akuranamianaya kayena usutu. Aranayu korinyanya karanyanya miatusu and mahramite urunania miartushta anaya miki utania yasuye uanayata itan. Korite anana. I koreanya soimini elegushta nyamaria tusutu tu haranya tusu. Tu kriana su ishta aneana eyana no stepia kuyana ya tuya yai utunya su inita bakayuna teana Yarenya soya piokretano tu so tonyana dis ibio tushti takanu nane akiate aratata tutuana ya sapuana nai ukurtayana yana Nyaren yashumire tunyan magi arutane yanu ya sutayana tukarana ya kriya orinya imbiarinya pura tushtita Porosu yunania kiarote anaya woi. Aromai atayesuta. La hichtach nachur. Naria toye anamaya koye. Kiane akoi. Yar toste nyana toste enya piano ishtu. Yakotanya. Yakotorota ya satareno tu impreata ya suka. Naria toste anayana. Okor banaya. Bore naya mae. Aya karen yo soye ni nayo tu yeshti yana tu nyane to soye nya enya tuta ma ora nae utoro tanea ya tushine yana na lemi anone ukana nenya tu su ucha ma atoye utore elema. Yato ishte inenete pia la khamano suyipia tushte ukona nae boya naya sato yapratu sha yipiaro suika la khamine e koryane akuta yapreno su ita ne orena nyara tukana. Yamoya na yasu kita niana tushe ita uramba a okutan neana yana ayakhanani marakurushtu uta nyaru udadea nea urutan marana mea neasu yehusha hata inyana tasu arinya damahuhta akhrania tasa tuhrafia tushte na urunai pikia na yesu tuhrafia harutu tene atasu te anai atakurete nashu tukapu nai atari ane mamo turina yesu fihrate na khan uhakt takbete dech pushta ne ahwacht. Yachtana yushe, lachmenea doyana, lanea ukutase, turta ta, dechenimnite, the glorinta ushta, ayaya, of the kushte pichatoshta, jocharan bai, chareminea, darudasu. Parenyato suire. Naro rene agara josa agara no she mena to yiri koren fuya to sute tatiana disviane disviaru dushtu tena aku lachamane ane atush tatede aku kanamana tatehante uruteanas. Nyara Josha, Korete, Nyara Dasu, Yarira Kushana. Nyaria nosu ayaparana, Aharatu ya Orotoshan, Arinya Usute. Manayana Tatayanyana Bra Otush Aka